everybody. Welcome.
Good day. Getting breezy again.
Yeah, won't be long. Hold on. You will meet and greet. Hi. Welcome.
This is my daughter.
Yep.
This is Lisa.
Okay.
Hello! Hi, hi, hi. Hi,
Go
hi,
in, go
hi.
in.
Oh boy. Oh. Your queen is real, yes?
You're beautiful.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, I'm Debbie.
Nice to meet you. Have a seat, have a seat. Anywhere there.
I'm her daughter.
I'm her daughter. Yes, Lisa. Debbie and Lisa.
It's Lisa.
Thank you.
My queen, Romana.
Welcome.
I have been following you. And I'm wide awake on everything.
Good.
You know, the children. This is what really, really takes me to my heart. Is the children. I did an early childhood education course in 1987. And from that time, I just wanted to be there for the children, all these children. And back then I had encounters of children that were abused. I had to report to my
Superior.
yeah. And it was hard. It was very hard. And then to know that what's happening in this world.
Yes. I think there are selected souls that were given the task or mission to see and be aware of what was being done to the children, albeit from different industries in your case, and even fostering, and prepared those select few for this timeline.
Yes.
Because
I
it's
feel
new.
I am. I'm here. I says to Lisa all the time,
Yes.
I'm where I'm supposed to be
Correct. Yes.
right now
Yes.
in this lifetime.
Yes. Your chosen timeline.
Yes.
They are simultaneous. Everything happens. There's timeline for Europe. There's timeline for the U.S. There's timeline for Canada, and around the world. And so, if you were paying attention to my morning greetings, and yesterday I made a video about collapsing all the timelines and only one, because it's confusing people from around the world. How come this one's happening in Canada? There's Queen Romana that's doing all of this, and there's nobody from the US doing that, and then nobody is taking care of Europe or Australia. And so, but back a few months, many months ago, I had mentioned that I am taking care of 157 plus countries, and it's added more. And so it's time to collapse the timeline and bring everyone into one direction and make sure that there's no duality, because that's what it was doing. It was the different timelines, different events happening around the world. It was creating duality and division, even for those awake already. And it was at some point regression. Some people just decided, okay, nothing has changed, so they decided to go with the other timeline. So I was seeing that the same thing when I was witnessing what was happening in Canada, and I decided, okay, this timeline is too slow. My people are lining up for the jab, and they're unconscious as anybody can be. And so I came to Ottawa and changed that timeline. And that's when everybody, or majority of the people, they have learned one thing from what I had done in Ottawa. And that is, she's the one that burnt the flag. They didn't realize the flag was a corporation flag. And it was not done to disrespect we the people or our military and veterans, but to show the timeline has ended for those corporations that's been masquerading as the government of we the people, when in fact they are invaders and occupiers of Canada since 1867, even longer. They're corporations that decided they should rule Canada and then took everybody's money via taxes and continued to impose taxes so that they could siphon off we the people's money and resources and divide it among themselves, through sending it via false international aid programs, and then it ended up into their either foreign corporations or their wars to keep fear going and deception, and some went into their private foundations or public foundations and trusts accounts.
My father used to always say, well, my dad he was born in 1907.
Yes.
And I was a little girl about 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I would never forget, like he always used to say, he never trusted banks. He always kept the money home.
Yes.
And he would see something about government, which I was only a little girl.
Right, yes.
But I remember him saying, it's all skullduggery.
Yes.
I learned that word from my dad.
Yeah.
It's all skullduggery. So, as a little girl, I asked, I said, Dad, what does skullduggery mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, not good people, Debbie. Not good, right? So, and I kept that for years. And it's just like, all my life, I didn't like government. I had no time for government.
Yeah.
From a young girl to right now to this day, this timeline,
Mm-hmm.
I would be 68, good Lord, and spares me. And to this day, I never did. I always never trusted government, never.
Well, I have removed the politicians and politics, so we will not have any elections anytime soon. I think our country needs major healing and bringing together people rather than dividing. Politics and religion did that, and unconsciously people took part in that energy of, well, you're Catholic or somebody is this, and so there's that division, and then there goes, well, you support the liberals or you support this, and so there's that other division. So unconsciously people have been participating in dividing themselves and creating that and perpetuating that energy every time, even though they were not aware of it. And that's why when I said Trump's timeline is finished, because if they realized that in Canada there's no politics, Queen Romana does not do politics, because politics doesn't serve anyone, just serves themselves. So in the US, Trump's timeline was, he was a representative of a party. That's politics. And now people in the United States are asking, well, Queen Romana, would you be also our queen? Because we don't want politics anymore. So slowly, Americans are waking up that politics is also not for them.
Not for the world.
Not for the world.
No, not the world we are in at this time right now. It's clean, cleaned up.
It's getting hard though for people that are awake, myself included.
Yes.
Like yesterday, I had a real frustrating day, and I'm just really now learning about, not learning because it's always been in me. I've always felt that there's a reason for me and my path, but it's like recently, it's like the manifestation part, the consciousness, the love and light. So I'm just trying to like practice that, but it's just like whenever we go out, or I've never worn a mask.
Yes.
It's just like it's the same outside, like walking around or sitting in the car watching people with their masks on, like you're here and people are just so like
Correct. Yes.
and it's hard, and like families are split up. I haven't seen
Yes.
my grandchildren in a month because of this,
Because of it.
because of the shit that I'm into. And it's just like, but I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot, you know, just my mind I wasn't surprised that we were lied to or anything like that, because I've always been an advocate, a voice for the voiceless. I've always tried to help wherever and whenever I could and help people. That was what made me feel. So, but now it's just like the people that you help are the ones that are the meanest. And it's revealing everybody for who they are. I know that. You know, I know this is all designed to expose people for who they actually are, and I don't really need them in my life anyway, because I'm going on to it.
Yes.
You know, and so, but I'm just wanting to tap into my manifestation and my higher consciousness on a deeper level. That's where my hunger is right now, so it's so I can help myself, help everybody else.
Well, in terms of manifestation, I was saying to the team that you need to be very specific, because now the filter between humanity and the celestial beings, the divine beings, and the creator, there's no more intermediary, there's no more filter. It's been removed. So when what happens here on earth, i.e. You're wanting to manifest something, I'll use as an example Kevin, who says, well, I want a girlfriend, and then I said, well, you have to be very specific as to what kind of a girlfriend, because for them, okay, you want a girlfriend, we'll send it to you, but you know what kind of a girlfriend that person is going to be, you know, it's none of their business. You just ask for a girlfriend, so they're sending it, you know, they're not particular with the details, so you have to be very specific, right?
That's another thing too. I recently met somebody in a time like this where I was single for like a decade,
right?
And then to find somebody that's like-minded and just and then to feel the energy and to feel everything going on based on that relationship right now, it's just like, whoa.
Exactly.
Whoa.
But she also knew this man when they were 16.
Right. Yes.
They were
And then
teenagers.
he's away 10 years, so, and then he's, you know, he was alone basically in his mind and in his life for 10 years, and then it's just like, you know, he manifested me, he said.
You manifested both.
Yeah.
You know, each other, yes.
Yeah. But so that was a clear sign for me that it was just like, oh wow.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Yeah, we got a rally. We've been out like rallying
Really?
and protesting since 2020.
Right, yes.
You know,
Thank you for
over
that.
by the Confederation
it's
building and out since 2020. Every time. Now tomorrow we got a convoy, is it?
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock tomorrow. And,
So we've been doing the convoys ever since the trucker freedom convoy, just it's great because it's bringing more people to. What I'm finding though is people are just at different levels of being awake.
Being awake.
So, you know, you can get up and talk about politics or talk about this or talk about that, but do you actually know what's going on? Like, and how do you say all of that? Because it's just like, everything's a lie, everything you've ever known has been a lie, and we have been we're slaves.
We're slaves.
And they're hurting children. Right? So it's just...
Not anymore.
No.
Not anymore. We
But I have
stop to that.
Queen Romana, I have a birth certificate, and I was just wondering, at the time when I got the birth certificate,
Right.
they didn't give you the full form,
Yes.
so they just made this up. But right at the bottom in fine print, it says Canadian banknote. So what does
That means they have taken your birth certificate, as they have done for each Canadian,
Corporation.
and created a corporation under your name. That is why it's all capital letters.
Yeah.
And they've been trading under that.
Plus stock market.
Yes. So you actually have money under your straw man.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So that's what that banknote is. That's the
So
number.
that's another thing that I want. I want to take my straw man back.
How
Yeah,
would you
sure.
do that?
Well, now that the Kingdom of Canada exists and the corporation's gone, there's no more straw man. 'Cause that was their creation.
So the bond, is that like a bond? Like they
That's a bond, yes, and they kept on trading on it and lending it to people and taking interest upon it since your birth. Yes, that's the creation of the bankers and the Catholic Church and everybody else in between. They're fake royalties.
You want to answer what
Oh, I was just wondering what like timeline would the lizard queen be announced to her demise?
Funny, because I was collapsing yesterday when I was collapsing the timelines. While I was creating that video as we were traveling, guess what bridge we were crossing? I wasn't even aware of it. Queen Elizabeth. And Kevin was like, Your Majesty, did you realize that when you were creating that video, recording that video right there, we were crossing Queen Elizabeth? So, a bridge. So talk about collapsing. Yes, collapsing her timeline. And yes, as far as her being announced, I'm pushing the timeline. Because if it were up to the other timeline, we would be drip, and it would take yet another 2 to 3 years. So I said, no, we're not doing that. And that is why also I'm going to the United States. Because if you guys were paying attention when I burnt the flag and made the speech, I asked the truckers to go home after I lifted everything. As far as COVID, I asked the truckers to either go home or go to the United States and liberate the United States. And guess what we're doing in the United States? This convoy is going to do.
Now the people, like family members that like did have the jab, let's
Yes,
say,
yes.
are they going to be sick within 5 years or 3 years?
Some of the jabs were placebo. I believe 30% of it. So it was Russian roulette.
Oh,
So I guess the measure of who got what was within 72 hours after someone got a jab. If they had a reaction to it, then they got it. If they didn't have a reaction within that time frame, then they got the saline or placebo water, saline water. So it was Russian roulette. That's why.
That's the part that kind of confuses me the whole time about that. Is like, how was it allowed to be passed out, distributed, knowing that it could potentially, with the side effects and the potential death being potential cause, you know?
That plan was the original plan of the deep state.
Okay.
And we, the White Hats, intervened and did as quickly as possible using our military
Yeah.
to
To distribute it.
switch.
Yes.
Yes, but there were certain manufacturing facilities that the White Hats were not able to get to on time, so those were rolled out. That's
Any
how-
last questions?
no, we'll get a picture. Can we have a
Yes, of
picture?
course,
Hello,
definitely.
Raven.